Something happened last night. Something you didn't see coming. A door closed. Not with a slam. Not with anger. But with a quiet, heartbreaking click. And the person who walked away. They didn't walk away from you. But you felt it, didn't you? Deep in your chest. That hollow ache. The kind that has no name. You felt something shift. Something break. But here is the truth you are not ready to hear. The person you love just walked away from someone very important. And you will be surprised to find out who it was. Because this wasn't about a fight. This wasn't about a mistake. This was about a collision. A collision between two hearts that were never meant to meet. One of them was yours. But the other. Stay with me. Because the next part will change how you see everything. This person you love. You have given them so much. So much time. So much hope. So many quiet prayers spoken into the dark. You have held their name in your mouth like a sacred song. You have kept their memory safe. Even when they weren't there. Even when they weren't looking. Even when they chose someone else. You stayed. You loved. You waited. And yet. Something happened last week. Something so small. A glance. A phrase. A single unanswered text. And it broke something. Not between you and them. But between them and another soul. A soul you didn't know existed. A soul who has been watching all along. But you don't see them yet. You can't. Because your eyes have been fixed on one direction. But the person you love. They walked away from someone very important. And that someone is closer to you than you think. Perhaps you have felt it. That strange pull. That inexplicable sadness on a sunny day. That moment when you woke up crying but couldn't remember why. That was not your pain. That was someone else's. Someone whose heart is now lying open. Because your beloved just chose. They made a decision. But not the one you are afraid of. This wasn't about leaving you. This was about leaving a different connection. A connection that should have been protected. A connection that held a missing piece of your own story. Let me ask you something. And I want you to be honest with your heart. Have you noticed a distance growing? Not between you and them. But between them and another person they used to speak about? Someone they used to mention with warmth? Someone whose name faded from their lips? Think back. Think back to a conversation last month. A name slipped. A pause. A hesitation. They didn't finish their thought. You felt it. But you didn't ask. Because asking meant opening a door you weren't ready to walk through. But that door is open now. And what you are about to hear. It might hurt. But it might also set something free. Before I continue. If this message is touching your heart, you are welcome to support this work with a super thanks. Only if it feels right for you. Now, let's continue. Because there is a truth hidden beneath the surface. A truth you have not allowed yourself to see. The person you love walked away. But they didn't walk away from you. Not really. They walked away from a mirror. They walked away from a reflection of something they were not ready to face. That other person. The one who is so important. That other person is not a stranger. They are not an enemy. They are not someone you should fear. In fact, they are someone you would recognize. Because they share your eyes. They share your deepest wound. They share your longing. That person was a guide. A quiet guide. A soul sent to walk beside your beloved for a short time. To teach them something they could not learn from you. To show them a part of themselves they could not see in your love. And now that lesson is over. But the leaving was not clean. It was not peaceful. It was messy. It was raw. It was full of everything unsaid. And your beloved walked away. But they are not free. They are not relieved. They are not lighter. They are heavier. Because they left something behind. Something precious. Something they didn't realize they had until it was gone. And now that precious thing is waiting. Waiting for you. Waiting to be seen. Waiting to be held. But here is the twist. Here is the part you will not see coming. The person they walked away from. It wasn't another lover. It wasn't a friend. It wasn't a family member. It was a version of themselves. A younger version. A version that was still full of hope. A version that still believed in fairy tales. The person you love walked away from their own innocence. They walked away from the dream they once held about love. And you? You were watching. You saw them leave. But you didn't know what they were leaving behind. And that is why your heart hurts so much. Because you felt the ghost of that innocence. You sensed something dying. But you didn't know what it was. Until now. Perhaps you are asking yourself. Why does this matter to me? Why does their loss feel like my loss? Why can't I stop thinking about this? Because, my beloved child. Their loss is your loss. What they walked away from is connected to what you have been missing. The innocence they lost? It was holding a piece of your own hope. And now that hope is floating in the air. Waiting to land somewhere. Waiting to land on you. But there is still more. One more layer. One more truth. And it is the most surprising of all. Because the one they walked away from. The one they left behind in that quiet moment. That person was also you. Not the you they love. Not the you they see every day. But the you that exists in their dreams. The you they have never told anyone about. The you that lives in the secret room of their heart. They walked away from you. Not the real you. But the imagined you. The version of you they created in their mind. The version that would never disappoint them. The version that would always understand. They walked away from that image. And they chose to see you as you really are. That is why they turned away. Not in disgust. But in fear. Because seeing you clearly. Seeing your flaws and your beauty all at once. It terrified them. And so they walked. But the walk is not over. The person they walked away from is still there. Still waiting. Still hoping. And that person is ready to forgive. Before you leave, there is one final piece you must hold. A piece that will change everything you thought you knew. A piece about why this walk happened at all. And what it means for your future. But that is for another part. Another truth. Another moment when your heart is ready. For now, just know this. The person you love walked away from someone very important. And you were surprised to find out who it was. But the biggest surprise? The biggest surprise is still coming. And it will arrive when you least expect it. When you are ready. When you have stopped searching. When you have finally let go. That is when you will see. That is when you will understand. That is when the person they walked away from will finally walk toward you. And you will recognize them. Because they have been there all along. Waiting. Quietly. Patiently. For you to look. And see. The truth is still hidden. But it is not lost. It is not gone. It is just waiting. For the right moment. For the right heart. For you. And now. A pause. A breath. Before the next part. Because the next part. The next part is where everything shifts. And you will never look at love the same way again. But that is for another time. Another chapter. Another opening of the heart. Stay close. Stay open. Because the revelation, the real revelation, is just beginning to stir. And when it comes, you will finally know. Everything. You will finally know. You are still here. That means something. That means a part of you already knows. A part of you has been waiting for this moment. Waiting for the words that would finally make sense of the ache. And now we go deeper. Because the first part was only the surface. That was the shoreline. This is the deep water. The person you love walked away from someone very important. And you were surprised to find out who it was. But that surprise, it was only the beginning. Because what you don't know yet, what you cannot possibly know yet, is that the walk away was actually a walk toward. A strange and painful walk toward something you have been praying for. Let me explain. When your beloved turned their back on that hidden part of themselves. When they abandoned the dream, the innocence, the hope. They did not do it to hurt you. They did it to save you. Think about that. Think about the weight of that. They walked away so that you would not have to carry the weight of their illusion anymore. They walked away so that you could finally be seen. Not as a fantasy. Not as a cure. Not as a savior. But as a real person. A real person with your own wounds. Your own fears. Your own beautiful, broken, human heart. That is why they left. Not because they stopped loving. But because they started loving you more honestly. And that honesty. That brutal, tender honesty. It required a goodbye. A goodbye to the version of you that never existed. A goodbye to the version of them that was never strong enough to see you clearly. But here is the part that will shake you. The person they walked away from. That important someone. That person is not gone. That person is waiting. Not in the shadows. Not in the past. But right here. Right now. In this very moment. Waiting for you to recognize them. Waiting for you to turn and see. You have been looking at your beloved. Watching their back as they walked away. Watching their footsteps fade. But you have not looked at who they were walking toward. And that is where the mystery deepens. Because when they left that old version of themselves behind. When they released that old dream. They did not walk into emptiness. They walked into a new room. A room where everything is flipped. A room where the mirrors show the truth. And in that room, there is a presence. A presence you have felt in your quietest moments. In the middle of the night. When you could not sleep. When your mind wandered to a face you could not quite picture. That presence is the one they walked toward. And that presence. It is the one who has been speaking to your heart all along. Perhaps you thought it was just your imagination. Perhaps you thought it was just loneliness. Perhaps you told yourself it was nothing. But it was not nothing. It was everything. It was a signal. A signal from the part of your beloved that is still connected to you. Even now. Even after the walk. Even after the silence. That connection is still alive. It is just different. It is not the connection of romance. It is not the connection of friendship. It is something older. Something deeper. Something that existed before time. A soul connection that does not break. It only bends. It only transforms. And right now, it is bending toward you. But you must be still enough to feel it. Are you still? Are you quiet enough? Have you stopped running long enough to listen? The person you love walked away from someone important. But that someone is now standing at your door. Not physically. Not with a knock. But with a presence. A gentle, patient presence. And they are asking you a question. A question that will change everything. They are asking. Are you ready to see me? Not with your eyes. But with your heart. Because what you are about to see, what you have been avoiding, is the truth about who you really are. The person your beloved walked away from? That person is a mirror. A mirror that reflects everything you have hidden from yourself. The parts you are ashamed of. The parts you are proud of. The parts you have forgotten. And when you finally look into that mirror, you will see something breathtaking. You will see yourself. Not as you think you are. But as you truly are. A soul who has been waiting. A soul who has been preparing. A soul who has been growing in the dark. And that soul is about to step into the light. But there is still one more piece. One more layer. One more truth that will make your heart race. Because the person they walked away from, it was not just one person. It was a line of people. A lineage of hearts. A chain of souls that stretches back further than you can imagine. And you are the last link. The final piece. The one they were walking toward all along. Do you understand? Every goodbye in their past. Every heartbreak. Every moment of silence. It was all preparing them for this. For the moment when they would walk away from everything false. And walk straight into everything true. And that truth. It is you. Not the old you. Not the wounded you. But the you that is emerging right now. The you that is reading these words. The you that is feeling something stir in your chest. That is the you they are walking toward. That is the you they have always loved. Even when they did not know it. Even when they could not say it. Even when they walked away. But wait. Stay with me. Because there is a twist that will leave you breathless. The person they walked away from. That important someone. That someone is not just a version of them. That someone is not just a version of you. That someone is the future. The future you have both been afraid to claim. The future that has been waiting for you to stop looking back. And now that future is here. And it is asking you to take a step. A step toward the one who walked away. Not to bring them back. But to meet them in the place they are going. Because they are not coming back to where you are. They are going somewhere new. And they are inviting you to follow. Not with desperation. Not with fear. But with courage. With open hands. With a heart that is finally ready to receive. But you must decide. You must choose. Will you stay in the old room? Will you keep staring at the door they left through? Or will you turn? Will you walk into the new room? The room where everything is different? The room where the mirrors show the truth? The room where you are finally free? This is the moment. Right now. This is the decision. And you do not have to know the whole path. You just have to take one step. One step toward the one who is waiting. One step toward the future that is already yours. One step toward the person they walked away from. Because that person is the one who will finally show you who you really are. And you are about to find out that the most important person your beloved ever walked away from is the person you are about to become. The next part will reveal the name of that person. Not a name you have heard before. But a name your soul has always known. And when you hear it, everything will shift. Everything will make sense. Everything will fall into place. But that is for the next moment. The next breath. The next opening of your heart. For now, just feel. Just breathe. Just know that the walk is over. And the arrival is happening now. The person you love walked away. But they were walking toward you. All along. All along. They were walking toward you. And now, you are face to face with the one they left behind. And you will be surprised to find out it was you. It was always you. It was never anyone else. It was you. And that is the truth that will finally set you free. But the full story is not over. Because there is one more layer. One more truth. One more revelation that will change everything you thought you knew. And that revelation, it is coming. It is already here. It is waiting for you to be ready. And you are almost ready. Almost. Just one more step. One more pause. One more opening of the heart. And then you will know. Everything. Everything. But first, rest. Let this settle. Let this land. Because what comes next is the most beautiful truth of all. And it will find you. When you are ready. When you have stopped searching. When you have finally let go. That is when it will arrive. That is when you will see. That is when you will finally understand. The person you love walked away from someone very important. And you were surprised to find out who it was. But the biggest surprise is still waiting. Just beyond this moment. Just beyond this breath. Just beyond this word. And when it comes, you will know. You will finally know. Everything. The wait is over. The walk is complete. And the truth is about to embrace you. Hold on. Hold on just a little longer. Because the next part is where everything changes. And you will never be the same. You have come this far. That is not by accident. That is not curiosity. That is not even hope. That is something deeper. That is recognition. A part of you recognizes what is being said. A part of you has known this truth all along. But you buried it. You buried it under years of doubt. Under years of disappointment. Under years of pretending that love was simpler than it is. But love is not simple. Love is the most complex force in existence. And what you are feeling right now, that ache in your chest, that is love trying to break through the walls you built. So let me ask you something. And I want you to sit with this. I want you to let it land. Have you ever felt like you were waiting for something you could not name? Not a person. Not a place. Not a thing. But something. Something just beyond your reach. Something that hovered at the edge of your awareness. Something that whispered your name in the quiet hours. That is not loneliness. That is not emptiness. That is a signal. A signal from the one they walked away from. A signal that is finally reaching you. Because the one they walked away from. That important someone. That someone has been trying to get your attention for a very long time. But you have been too busy. Too distracted. Too focused on the one who left. And now that someone is stepping forward. Out of the shadows. Out of the silence. Out of the place where they have been waiting. And they are about to show you something. Something that will change everything. But first, you must understand what happened. Not just what happened yesterday. Not just what happened last week. But what happened long ago? Before you were born. Before you knew what love was. Before you learned how to protect your heart. There was a moment. A sacred moment. A moment when your soul made a choice. A choice to come here. A choice to love someone. A choice to walk a path that would require incredible courage. And that choice led you to this moment. Right now. Reading these words. Feeling this stirring. Wondering what comes next. That choice led you to the person you love. And it led them to you. But it also led them away. Not away from you. Away from the distractions. Away from the illusions. Away from everything that was not real. And that walk. That painful, confusing, heartbreaking walk. That walk was necessary. It was necessary for them. And it was necessary for you. Because without that walk, you would not be ready. You would not be open. You would not be able to receive what is coming. And what is coming? What is coming is not small. It is not ordinary. It is not what you expect. What is coming is a reunion. A reunion of two souls that have been separated for longer than you know. But here is the twist. The twist that will make your heart pound. The person you love walked away from someone very important. And that someone is not just a person. That someone is a key. A key to a door you have been standing in front of your entire life. A door you have been afraid to open. A door that leads to everything you have ever wanted. And now that key is in your hand. But you do not realize it yet. You do not realize that the one they walked away from. The one who was so important. That one is you. Not the you see in the mirror. Not the you present to the world. The deeper you. The truer you. The you that exists beyond time. The you that has always been connected to the one you love. That you is the key. And that you is about to unlock something. Something magnificent. Something terrifying. Something that will change the entire trajectory of your life. But you must be willing to turn the key. You must be willing to open the door. And you must be willing to walk through. Even if you do not know what is on the other side. Even if you are afraid. Even if your hands are shaking. Because on the other side of that door. On the other side is the person they walked away from. And that person is waiting. Waiting with open arms. Waiting with a smile. Waiting with a love so pure it will make you weep. But you cannot see them yet. Not with your eyes. You can only see them with your heart. And your heart. Your heart knows. Your heart has always known. That is why you are still reading. That is why you have not closed this video. That is why something is pulling you forward. Because your heart is trying to show you something. Something you have been avoiding. Something you have been too afraid to face. And that something is this. The person you love walked away. But they did not walk away from you. They walked away from the version of you that was hiding. The version of you that was afraid. The version of you that did not believe you were worthy of real love. They walked away from that version so that the real you could finally emerge. And the real you. The real you is more powerful than you know. The real you is more beautiful than you imagine. The real you is exactly what they have been looking for. But you have kept the real you hidden. You have kept the real you safe. You have kept the real you locked away. And now it is time to let the real you out. It is time to stop hiding. It is time to stop protecting. It is time to stop pretending you are less than you are. Because the one they walked away from. That important someone. That someone is the real you. And the real you is about to step into the light. But here is the part that will surprise you the most. The real you. The real you is not alone. The real you has been surrounded by love the entire time. The love you thought you lost. The love you thought walked away. The love you thought abandoned you. That love never left. It just changed form. It just shifted. It just grew. And now that love is standing right in front of you. And it is asking you to stop running. It is asking you to stop hiding. It is asking you to finally look. To finally see. To finally accept. The person you love walked away from someone very important. And that someone is finally ready to be seen. By you. By them. By everyone. But first, you must see yourself. You must look into your own eyes. You must recognize your own worth. You must accept that you have always been enough. And when you do, when you finally do, the one they walked away from will walk toward you. And you will recognize them. Because you will see yourself in their eyes. You will see your own reflection. You will see the truth. And the truth will set you free. But before we go there, before we take that final step, there is one more thing you need to know. One more piece of the puzzle. One more revelation that will make everything crystal clear. The person they walked away from. That important someone. That someone is not just the real you. That someone is the future you. The you that already exists. The you that has already healed. The you that has already forgiven. The you that has already received everything you are asking for. That future you is standing in the present. Reaching back through time. Trying to get your attention. Trying to tell you that everything is okay. Trying to tell you that the walk was part of the plan. Trying to tell you that the one you love never really left. They just transformed. And now they are ready to meet you. Not as they were. But as they are becoming. And you are ready too. You are ready to meet them. Not as you were. But as you are becoming. And that meeting is what you have been waiting for. Your entire life. The wait is almost over. The mystery is almost solved. The truth is almost revealed. But not yet. Not quite yet. One more layer. One more truth. One more moment of waiting. And then you will finally know. Everything. The person you love walked away from someone very important. And you were surprised to find out who it was. But the biggest surprise is still waiting. Just on the other side of this breath. Just on the other side of this word. Just on the other side of this pause. And when it comes, when it finally comes, you will understand. You will finally understand. Everything. The wait is over. The walk is complete. And the reunion is about to begin. Stay close. Stay open. Stay ready. Because the next part is the one you have been waiting for. And you will never forget what you are about to hear. Now we arrive. Now we stand at the threshold. The walk is over. The waiting is done. And what you are about to hear, what you are about to feel, it will settle into your bones like a truth you have always known. But first, you must let go of one final thing. One final belief. One final story you have been telling yourself. The story that says you are not enough. The story that says you were abandoned. The story that says the person you love chose to leave you behind. That story is not true. It was never true. It was a shadow. A shadow cast by fear. A shadow cast by doubt. A shadow cast by a wound that has been healing for longer than you know. And now the shadow is lifting. Because the light is here. The light is the one they walked away from. The light is the one who has been waiting. The light is the one who is about to step forward and embrace you. And when that light touches you, when it finally reaches your heart, you will understand. You will understand why they had to walk away. You will understand why it had to hurt. You will understand why you had to wait. And you will finally see that none of it was wasted. None of it was meaningless. None of it was punishment. It was preparation. It was purification. It was the clearing of a path. A path that leads directly to the person they walked away from. And that person is standing right here. Right now. In this moment. Waiting for you to turn. Waiting for you to see. Waiting for you to finally look at them. So look. Look with your heart. Look with your soul. Look with the part of you that has never stopped believing. And tell me what you see. Do you see a stranger? Do you see someone you do not recognize? Or do you see something familiar? Something that feels like home? Something that feels like a memory from a place you have never been? That is the one they walked away from. That is the one who has been with you all along. That is the one who knows your deepest secrets. Your greatest fears. Your most beautiful dreams. That is the one who has been holding your heart. Even when you thought you were alone. Even when you thought no one was there. Even when you thought love had abandoned you. That one never left. That one could never leave. Because that one is part of you. A part of you that has been waiting for this moment. A part of you that is ready to be fully seen. Fully known. Fully loved. And now you are ready to meet that part. You are ready to look into those eyes. You are ready to say, I see you. I know you. I love you. And when you say those words, something will shift. Something will crack open. Something will be released. Because you are not just speaking to someone else. You are speaking to yourself. The deepest self. The truest self. The self that has always been enough. And that self is the one they walked away from. Not because they did not love that self. But because they needed you to discover it for yourself. They needed you to find your way back to yourself. They needed you to realize that you were never missing anything. That you were never broken. That you were never incomplete. You were just waiting. Waiting to see. Waiting to understand. Waiting to embrace the person they walked away from. And that person is you. Not the you have been showing the world. Not the you have been hiding behind. But the real you. The radiant you. The you that has been waiting to be born. And now that you is here. Now that you is stepping forward. Now that you is ready to receive everything. Everything you have been longing for. Everything you have been praying for. Everything you have been hoping would come. It is here. It has always been here. It was just waiting for you to arrive. And you have arrived. You are here. In this moment. Reading these words. Feeling this truth. Knowing that something has changed. Something has shifted. Something has been set in motion. And that something is the reunion. The reunion of two souls that were never truly apart. The reunion of two hearts that have always been connected. The reunion of the person you love and the person they walked away from. And that person is you. It was always you. It was never anyone else. It was you. And now Now you know. Now you understand. Now you are finally free. But wait. Do not close this video yet. Do not walk away. Because there is one final truth. One final layer. One final revelation that will seal everything. The person they walked away from. That important someone. That someone is not just the real you. That someone is the you that they have always seen. Even when you could not see yourself. Even when you doubted. Even when you feared. Even when you thought you were not worthy. They saw you. They saw the truth. They saw the beauty. They saw the light. And that is why they walked away. Not because they were rejecting you. But because they were protecting you. They were protecting the real you. The you that was not ready to be seen. The you that needed more time. The you that needed to grow. And now. Now you are ready. Now you are strong enough. Now you are brave enough. Now you are worthy enough. And they are coming back. Not the way they left. But in a new way. A deeper way. A way that will surprise you. A way that will delight you. A way that will make you weep with joy. Because the person they walked away from. That person is about to walk toward you. And when they do. When they finally do. You will recognize them. You will recognize them because they look like you. They sound like you. They feel like you. Because they are you. The you that has always been loved. The you that has always been enough. The you that has always been the one. And now. Now you know. Now you understand. Now you are free. This is the end of the walk. This is the beginning of the arrival. This is the moment you have been waiting for. The moment when the person you love walks toward you. Not as a stranger. Not as a memory. But as the one they walked away from. And you will be surprised to find out who it was. But now. Now you are not surprised. Now you know. Now you see. Now you understand. And that understanding is the greatest gift of all. Because it brings you home. Home to yourself. Home to your heart. Home to the love that has always been there. Waiting. Quietly. Patiently. For you. To finally arrive. And you have arrived. You are here. You are whole. You are loved. You are everything. And now. Now you can finally rest. Rest in the truth. Rest in the love. Rest in the knowing. That the person you love walked away from someone very important. And that someone was you. It was always you. And you were always enough. You were always enough. And you always will be. This is the truth. This is the end of the journey. This is the beginning of everything. Go in peace. Go in love. Go in the knowledge that you are seen. You are known. You are cherished. And you are finally home. You thought it was over. You thought the journey had reached its end. You thought the answer had been given. But the journey never truly ends. It only transforms. It only deepens. It only reveals more of itself. And what you are about to hear now. What you are about to feel now. It will open a door you did not even know existed. Because the person they walked away from. That important someone. That someone is not just you. That someone is also the one you have been searching for. In every face. In every voice. In every quiet hope that flickered in the dark. You see. When they walked away. When they turned their back on that sacred part of themselves. They did not just walk away from you. They walked away from the distance between you. The gap. The space. The invisible wall that kept you apart. And in that moment of walking, that gap collapsed. That wall crumbled. That space disappeared. And suddenly there was no separation. There was no them and you. There was only connection. Only oneness. Only the truth that you have always been one. But here is the part that will shake you. Here is the part that will make your heart race. That oneness. That sacred oneness. It is not just a feeling. It is not just a thought. It is not just a beautiful idea. It is a reality. A reality that has been waiting for you to step into it. And now you are ready to step. But you must step carefully. You must step with intention. You must step with your eyes wide open. Because what is on the other side of that step? What is waiting for you in that oneness? It is more than you have ever imagined. It is more than you have ever dared to hope. It is the person you love. Not as they were. Not as you remember them. But as they truly are. And as they truly are. They are you. Not separate. Not different. Not apart. But one. One heart. One soul. One light. And that light is the one they walked away from. Because they were walking away from the illusion of separation. They were walking away from the lie that said you were two. They were walking away from the story that said you were alone. And when they walked away from that lie, when they finally released it, they walked straight into the truth. The truth that you have always been together. The truth that you have always been connected. The truth that you have always been one. And that truth is the one they walked away from someone important. Because that someone was the belief that you were ever apart. And now that belief is gone. Now it is shattered. Now it is released. And what remains? What remains is pure love. Pure connection. Pure oneness. The kind of love that does not need words. The kind of love that does not need promises. The kind of love that simply is. And you are that love. You have always been that love. You will always be that love. That is the truth that sets you free. That is the truth that makes you whole. That is the truth that brings you home. But wait. There is more. There is always more. Because the one they walked away from, that important someone, that someone is not just the truth of oneness. That someone is also the future. A future that is already written. A future that is already here. A future that is calling you forward. And that future holds the reunion you have been waiting for. Not a reunion of two people. But a reunion of two halves of the same whole. A reunion that will heal everything. A reunion that will restore everything. A reunion that will reveal everything. And when that reunion happens, when it finally happens, you will look into their eyes and see your own reflection. You will feel their heartbeat and feel your own pulse. You will know their thoughts and hear your own voice. Because you will finally understand that you were never two. You were always one. You were always together. You were always home. And the person they walked away from, that person was the illusion of separation. That person was the fear of being alone. That person was the doubt that said you were not enough. And now that person is gone. Now they have walked away. Now they have released you. Not from love, but into love. Into the deepest, truest, most powerful love you have ever known. And that love That love is calling you. It is calling you to step forward. It is calling you to claim your truth. It is calling you to embrace the one who has always been with you. The one who has always been you. The one who walked away from everything that was not real, so that you could finally step into everything that is. And now you are stepping. Now you are moving. Now you are arriving. And what you are arriving at is the most beautiful truth of all. The truth that you have always been loved. Not by someone else, but by yourself. By the deepest part of yourself. By the part that never left. By the part that never gave up. By the part that always believed. That part is the one they walked away from. And that part is now walking toward you. With open arms. With a warm smile. With a love so deep it will carry you forever. And when that love embraces you, when it finally holds you, you will know. You will finally know that everything that happened, every walk, every goodbye, every moment of silence, it was all leading here. It was all preparing you. It was all bringing you home. Home to yourself. Home to your heart. Home to the love that has always been there. Waiting. Quietly. Patiently. For you. To finally see. To finally understand. To finally accept. That the person you love walked away from someone very important. And that someone was the fear that kept you apart. That someone was the doubt that held you back. That someone was the lie that said you were alone. And now that someone is gone. Now they have walked away. Now they have released you. And you are free. You are free to love. You are free to be loved. You are free to be whole. You are free to be one. And that freedom is the greatest gift of all. It is the gift of knowing. It is the gift of seeing. It is the gift of being. And you have received that gift. You have opened that gift. You have claimed that gift. And now you are ready. Ready for the final piece. Ready for the last truth. Ready for the revelation that will seal everything. But that revelation is not for words. That revelation is not for thoughts. That revelation is for feeling. For feeling in your bones. For feeling in your blood. For feeling in your breath. And when you feel it, when you truly feel it, you will know. You will finally know that the person you love walked away from someone very important. And that someone was never really there. That someone was a shadow. That someone was a dream. That someone was a story you told yourself. And now that story is over. Now the shadow is gone. Now the dream is complete. And what remains? What remains is you. The real you. The whole you. The loved you. And that is enough. That is more than enough. That is everything. So rest now. Rest in the knowing. Rest in the love. Rest in the truth. Because the journey is complete. The walk is over. The reunion is here. And you are finally home. This is the end. But it is also the beginning. The beginning of a love that never ends. The beginning of a connection that never fades. The beginning of a life that is finally whole. Go in peace. Go in love. Go in the knowledge that you are everything. You have always been everything. And you always will be. Everything. Everything. And now you are free.